I don't have a view. I'm sorry.
I think number one is just to exercise compassion and understanding rather than judge and condemn and make them feel worse about their doubting God. And we see that, especially in that story of Job, he has friends. they come into the picture. And they bring up all types of theories and and reasons why Job is going through what he's going through. There are some who feel, you have done something wrong for you to deserve this. There are those who feel, maybe God just isn't on, looking on you with favor. And we see our reactions as friends towards somebody who's going through a phase like that, like a crisis and loss and pain and suffering. And we form our own theories about why they're going through what they're going through. And yet, when we see how God engages with, and God actually judges them for that. If you read that story very well, he judges them for assuming that they have the answers. Sometimes we don't have answers. And it's okay to say, I don't have an answer. I don't understand why. But I'm here with you. I'm here to sit down and just be silent. If it's let's cry, let's cry. If it's just listening to their questions and listening to their doubts and listening to their thoughts about what they're going through, and just assure them that I'm here. I'm here for you. We will go through this together, whether you are in a good space or a bad space. I think that's the first thing that we need to do as a family member or a friend who has someone who's going through that space of doubt and feeling like they don't know why they're believing God anymore. Yeah.
I have friends who aided in guiding me through the faith, and they're the reason why I am where I am today. But some of them have gone through some pretty traumatic things. And the one thing that I can recall them saying when I would approach them to try comforting them and extending compassion is they say, please don't tell me to pray. Because so many people have already guided them on that. So many people are telling them, just go to God, just go to God, just to go to God. So what's the next step then? Because you can't tell them exactly what they've been told, and they don't want to hear that anymore. They're tired of it. Yeah. So what would be the next step?
I think best step is to find out from them, first of all, what would you have me do? What do you need? So that you're not trying to meet a need that they're not asking for. Yeah, sometimes they tell you, I just need you to be there. I just need you to be a friend, to love me despite myself right now, to trust me despite myself, to accept me despite, what I might be going through right now. And sometimes not to say anything, because at some point you already know what people are thinking and what they would have to say to you when you are in that space. They will say, read the Bible. They will say, pray. There's some expected things that you hear from your friends. Yeah. But ask them, what do you need from me right now? And then let them express what their need is. And then you might not ask them to pray, but you can pray on their behalf.
Yeah.
And stand in the gap for them as they go through this storm or they go through this season. And I see that attitude with Christ, even when he's dealing with people who have unbelief or who have doubt about. And Jesus faced doubt from people every day.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, people are like, this guy, like he says he's the Son of God. Really? He faced a lot of doubting people around him. And just check his demeanor. Look at how he engages with them. I can think about John the Baptist. We never see him as going through a doubt process, but he did. After he's the one who makes the way, and he's the one who sets the path, and he's the one who preempts the coming of Jesus. And he is like the first convert, if you want to think about him, the first convert. And then when he's thrown in prison, he sends his followers and says, guys, please ask Jesus, are you the one? Or should we wait for another? Yeah, because he was definitely going through a situation that caused him to ask questions about the reality of who is Jesus. This is the one that I have been. And sometimes it's a believer. You've been there. You've been singing the song. You've been leading others. You've been praying for others. And then you go through this place of crisis of faith. And you doubt God. And you fear that, what I'm believing in might not be what I should be believing in. And yet, God sends a response. Jesus sends a response telling, yeah, I'm the one. Yeah. And so it shows us that, there can be a place where there's room for doubting. There's room for questioning. And God engages us in that space, in how we want the response. I see Thomas, we really criticize him, we judge him quite much for asking to touch. I will not believe until I touch. And many of us judge him. But Jesus doesn't. He says here, see, touch, feel. And then he says, I wish it would be better for those who believe without seeing. But for you, I have indulged with you. So where a person wants to experience, then you allow them to experience. Where a person wants answers, then you allow them to seek and explore for those answers until they find them. It might be a long process. It might take a lot of patience. But God gives room for that. He does.